Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to show you the actual cost for $10,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 62-year-old male. Now, first thing you need to understand is you can go directly to our website, and we've got these free quoters on just about every page. You just select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount, enter your birthday and the rest of the info, click Get Quotes Now. It'll take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies in your state, also going to show you the lowest pricing. And then you can be a smart consumer and you will find out why all these super low teaser rates that sound too good to be true on television and magazines, why they are too good to be true and why you shouldn't buy those plans for those low teaser rates. And you can also call us at 888-862-9456. And one of our agents can actually run those numbers for you and help explain why some policies and companies may be better than others. Now, the first thing you really need to think about is a 62-year-old male looking for $10,000 worth of insurance is that going to be enough for your final expense needs? So typically that's going to be a cremation or a burial. Now, the average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's if you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. Now, if you're going to have a cremation and some sort of ceremony, like a remembrance ceremony or a celebration of life, that's probably going to be $3,500 to $4,500, and that includes the cremation. Now, as far as coverage, what we would recommend for those two amounts is, if you're going to get cremated, come home in a cardboard box or an urn, probably $5,000 to $7,000. And if you're looking at that cremation with the ceremony, probably $7,000 to $10,000. Now, you'll notice we're a little overinsured right off the start, but not by much, not a crazy amount. The reason is we don't know if you're going to die tomorrow or in 20 years from now. So we want to make sure there's enough money for kind of both those time periods. So what we do is we actually get you a little bit more coverage right off the bat. God forbid if you did die sooner than you thought, there's a little extra money, not a lot, but a little bit extra money, maybe take care of some other final expenses or medical bills or stuff like that. But by the same token, if you live a long time, we're inflation-proofing that plan so that your family doesn't have to worry about getting stuck with bills in the future. Now, can you get more insurance? Heck yeah, we can help you out with that. Some people would approach us and they would say, well, I want like $25,000 or $30,000. I want to leave some money behind for my kids. Typically, we would discourage that. And the reason is that most of the people we work with are on a fixed or limited income. And just need to watch the budgets. And we just want to make sure that the policy is affordable for the rest of their life. And also, if you talk with your kids, they probably would rather you spend that money on them while they're alive rather than giving them money after they're dead. I'm sure they would appreciate the thought, but we really believe the money's better spent. Just spend it while you're alive. Instead of getting more insurance, like $30,000 or something, just get the 5 or 10, whatever you need, and keep the rest of the money and have fun with your money and have fun with your family. Now, for a burial, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. So it's not going to be anything fancy, I can assure you of that. But pretty much if you walk into just about any funeral home in the United States with a $10,000 check, they should be able to get something done for you. Again, it's not going to be fancy, but it's hard to imagine that they, would say no and let that check walk out the door to one of their competitors down the road. Just understand, $10,000 will get it done now, but if our 62-year-old male makes it to 72, probably not going to cut the mustard at that point. So we would typically recommend for a male age 62 and looking for burial, probably anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000, maybe even $20,000. But just keep in mind, if your budget's tight, you can always start with 10 and add more coverage later. But if you've got the financial means, then maybe that $15,000, maybe a little bit more, might be more appropriate. Now, the one thing that we always recommend is getting first day coverage or benefits, and that's the only thing we help people with here at funeralfunds.com. We do not recommend the 2-year waiting periods, and I'll go into that in just a moment. But first day coverage simply means that if you were to get your policy today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to pay the full $10,000 if that's what the policy face amount was. And that's the best coverage out there. And a lot of people would say, well, I like the first day coverage, but I know they ask health questions and I'm not in the best of health. So what should I do? Well, what we say is, hey, your health is our problem, not your problem. We work with enough different insurance companies that they all have different underwriting requirements. They all have different health questions. And really, right about 95% of the time, we are getting folks that first day coverage that they really want. The only reason we wouldn't be able to get you that first day coverage is if you had a really significant health condition, like, you had a terminal illness and you were going to die within the next 12 months. Maybe you had dementia. Maybe you had dialysis. You're on dialysis. Maybe in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd probably refer you out to a different insurance company. The other thing that seems to happen like every week is we get call from folks and they say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week and they didn't have insurance and we don't have any money. So we need to get this insurance really quick because the body's down at the funeral home and they're not going to do anything until they get a check in their hand. So again, we need this insurance really quick so that we can get a check in our hand to get a check in the funeral director's hand. And we have to let them know that, there's no insurance company in the United States that is going to offer a policy on a dead person. You actually have to be alive to buy this insurance. And it's so sad that somebody passed away. They knew they were going to die. They probably were going to get this insurance someday. And then someday showed up early and they didn't make it to another tomorrow. And now their family is like really in a lot of trouble, both financial trouble because they don't have the money and emotional trouble because they've got to come to terms that somebody that they thought loved and cared about them didn't actually love and care enough about them to get insurance enforced so that they weren't put in this terrible situation. So it's a terrible legacy to leave behind that, anytime your name comes up, you're going to be remembered as the person who left these bills behind and caused all this havoc. Don't be that person. This insurance is affordable. If you need to get a smaller amount, do it. We can always help you add more coverage later. Now, the one thing we don't recommend is those 2-year waiting period plans. Now, Colonial Penn is probably one of the better known insurance companies out there. And I think it's probably just because they advertise like crazy. Seems like they're on the TV with their $9.95 commercials like every 7 minutes or so. Now, just in case you didn't know, the Colonial Penn $9.95 plan is a 2-year waiting period plan. Ouch. What does that mean, though? It means that if you die of any health or medical reason in the first 2 years, they're not going to pay out any life insurance death benefit. Ouch. Yeah, that's why you want first day coverage. Now, there's other companies out there that offer those 2-year waiting period plans, like Mutual of Omaha, they're United of Omaha line, or AIG and Gerber, and there's a bunch of other insurance companies out there too. The only thing they sell is those plans with 2-year waiting periods. And some of these companies have done a pretty darn tootin' good job of convincing the American public that the only thing that they'll qualify for is a 2-year waiting period, to which we say, do not fall for such nonsense. Oh my gosh, we help people with first aid coverage all day long. Do not listen to those people. Now, a lot of 62-year-old men would probably be watching one of those Colonial Penn commercials, and they'd probably be thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to get so much coverage for $9.95. I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000. And then they talk with somebody from Colonial Penn or look them up on their website like we're doing right now. And they find out that one unit, which is $9.95 for a 62-year-old male, it's only going to pay out $1,057. I don't even think that's enough for a cremation in almost all parts of the country. And it doesn't really even matter because it's got a 2-year waiting period. Wouldn't even pay out for 2 years. So Yeah, just it's hard to imagine getting into a plan that's only going to pay out $1,057. And, it's probably, some people would say, it's probably not too hard to imagine that if you called a company that advertised a $9.95 rate and it only paid $1,057, some people would say it's not too hard to imagine there might be an upsell in your future. And some people might say, well, I wonder if that's what the $9.95 plan is all about, just getting the upsell. I don't know. These things are beyond me. But this video is about $10,000 worth of coverage. So I'm guessing since this is about 1,057, we're probably going to need 10 units of coverage here. Let's take a look. They only go up to 15. So let's see what 10 is. There we go. Yeah, 10,570. You can't get $10,000 for a 62-year-old male because with this per unit pricing, it always ends up with wonky numbers, kind of wackadoodle numbers like 10,570. That 570 must be important for something, but most people just want a $10,000 policy. But you notice this is $99.50, right at $100. So you got to be asking yourself, is there any better deals out there? And you know what? I bet there is. Let's take a look. So here we go. We're going to look at $10,000 for a male, age 62, the same as Colonial Penn. I'm going to hit the get quote. Boom, right there. Let's jump back and look though, because I want you to see this $10,000 right about $100. And here we go. Look at that. $46.28 versus $99.50. So the Colonial Penn plan is right about 200% more expensive. And Colonial Penn will allow you to overpay that roughly $50 a month for the rest of your life. And they will also bless you with a policy that has a 2-year waiting period, which if you die in the first 2 years, you will find out it is not a blessing. Yeah, so why would you pay 200% more for a plan that's going to have a 2-year waiting period and they're going to overcharge you for the rest of your life? It's over $50 more a month. So $50 a month times 12, that's $600 a year. And if you live another 10 years up to age 72, remember 62 to 72, that is going to be right at about an extra $6,000 that you'll overpay by going with Colonial Penn versus a lower price insurance company. So you'll overpay $6,000. That's just premiums extra that you're paying because Colonial Penn charges more, an extra $6,000, and it's a $10,000 policy. Why would you do such nonsense? Be a smart consumer. Don't do things like that. Get first day coverage, level coverage. We can help you with these companies. Okay, just reach out to us. We can help you get the lower rates. Let's go down. You can see all these other different companies here too. I'm just going to go down. We'll try to find one more to run some comparisons on. Oh yeah, like Lincoln Heritage. They're a fine company, I guess. I mean, look at that. Their price is higher. Yikes! It is first day coverage, but yeah, 63. So Lincoln Heritage has the thing where when you pass away, they'll call 2 or 3 funeral homes supposedly and like get the lowest pricing and maybe do a couple other things. But, it's not for free. They charge for it. It's right at $64 versus 64 versus 46. So that is right around 18. I'm just going to round up to $20. It's easier math. So it's really close to around $20 more a month. So that's an extra $240 a year. After 10 years, you will have overpaid right around, I don't know, probably $2,200 to $2,400 in premium. And you got to ask yourself, is it worth paying an insurance company? Let's even be a little more conservative. It's probably around $2,100 to $2,200. Is it worth paying an insurance company around $2,100 to $2,200 extra dollars just to call 2 or 3 funeral homes and maybe do a couple other things that might only take an hour or so. A lot of people would say that's a pretty good payday for an insurance company, and I guess we would probably tend to agree. Now, here's something you can do differently. Like if you went with Trinity Life, which we can help you with them, they're a terrific company, great rates, flexible underwriting, first day coverage. We actually provide free of charge on our website a free funeral and estate planning guide. And you just download that off our website and print it out. And you just fill it out in advance. Who gets what goes where, and what you want done after you're gone. And then you just keep that with your insurance policy. And then when you do pass away, your family members or loved ones, they have to go to one place, and they will be both protected financially and emotionally. So they'll be protected financially because they have the life insurance policy, and emotionally because you will have everything listed down for them to do. All you will have to do is just execute their wishes. And it's what a burden off of your family or loved ones when they know that you're just taking care of everything exactly the way you wanted it. All they've got to do is just follow through with what you said. What a wonderful gift of love, too, that they'll know that you were thinking about them well in advance while you were alive and thinking about the day you wouldn't be here for them, and they still took care of you. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So we can definitely help you get the lowest rates and all the free funeral and estate planning guide. Just go to our website. We've got these quoters on just about every page. We've got a special quoter for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube, where we've got access to a quoter that's going to have the best discounts and the lowest rates. You can also call us at 888-862-9456. One of our agents can run those numbers for you or answer any questions for you. Now, whether you've got an existing policy and you want to price shop it and make sure you got the best deal, or maybe you just want to add coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you are looking for a brand new policy, we can help you out with that. And if you just want some help with information or questions or to see what may or may not be appropriate, we can help you out with that too. But we look forward to the day in the future where we can assist you with this and help you understand what your best options are and get you approved for first day coverage or benefits. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.